Shalom Yasharala, this is your brother Dawadah, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakah Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, the great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. A salutation and much love for you, I can pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I'll jump into this here article real fast as we're getting closer and closer to the end. All right, we're starting to see more and more of these prophecies all coming together, like the, how they say, like the contractions, the birthing pains, But hey, this one here says Meta plans to create currency media. And, Meta was formerly called Facebook, all right? And as they're changing, updating, their systems and things like that, they're becoming more and more from a, back in the olden days, it was just a so-called social media site where you can gather and talk to friends. But now they have, I believe, a Facebook marketplace where you can buy and sell and shop on there. All right. Now, they're trying to go, they also have what they're trying to create the metaverse. All right. A so-called virtual reality land where people can go in and interact with one another, taking the social media to a whole nother level where, it's pretty much going to be like the movie The Matrix. There was a long time ago. I don't know if it was PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4 or something like that. They had this little wasn't really a game, but it was like something on the home screen you could go to. It was called PlayStation Home. And you could walk around, you created an avatar, you walked around and interacted with other people that was on PlayStation. And, you could do little things inside this little place, gambling, all kind of different things. It wasn't really a game. It was just like a social media area, right? And this is kind of like what this new metaverse is type is kind of like in what they call like Decentraland and all these other things like that, man. All right, so what people, just like again in The Matrix or that movie, there's a movie, I think it's either Ready Player One. Yeah, Ready Player One. All right, and also Free Guy. Free Guy is basically you're going to be, they were NPCs, non-playable characters. You was just automatically controlled doing, every day it's the same thing. You were always going to do the same. You have a programmed, you play a video game like Grand Theft Auto. Right, you have your main character, you get to control what you want to do and everything else like that. But then you have the people that's walking around, they're called NPCs. They're not really controlled by you. They just have a set path that they're going to walk on, drive on, and everything else. And that's what they're trying to get you on. But also like in the movie Ready Player One, they have it to where people will spend more time into this, like we're going to call this the metaverse. All right, because it's more of an attractive place to be. Unlike in the movie The Matrix, where when you unplug, everything is so-called destroyed and everything else like that. And that's what we're approaching, man. If Esau was able to get his way and implement his enterprise, but the Most High is going to stop it. So let's go into this one here, because this one also is hitting on this digital currency. All right. And as you can see, the prophecies are speaking loud and clear. So it says social media giant appears to have multiple currency related irons in the fire. Social media behemoth Meta is reportedly considered rolling out a digital currency. And again, if you don't quite know, again, like I said, Facebook changed their name to Meta. All right. And this is, not, I'm pretty sure a lot of people use Facebook. I'm just not one of those people that use Facebook. But when you really think about it, from a perspective from what I remember Facebook being to what it is now, like, damn, you got people on there having whole stores and buying and selling and, how you say a digital universe, more or less to say. All right, now, they're creating their own currencies and they have what they're trying to create these little virtual reality goggles and things like that. So, hey, man, this thing is really taking over to where people, and one of the things that if you don't use these social media things, you see it from a different side of the fence, because it's like people ask you for your social media handles and you like, I don't have that. And they look at you like an alien, like, what kind of rock have you been living under? Like, well, you motherfuckers are living under a rock. Y'all are stuck into that instead of the reality of the world. All right. And, there's a lot of you can watch, there's a documentary, The Social Media Dilemma, how they use these tools to create a false reality around you. And this is why people have certain mindsets and things like that. They believe that the world is certain types of ways. And this is just how things are because it's been tailored to them based off this here social media. So how much more, if Esau can get his plan and his agenda up and rolling, he'll be like a god over all the people, controlling your minds. It says social media behemoth Meta is reportedly rolling out a digital currency. The Financial Times revealed on Wednesday, years after the company's initial efforts to create a cryptocurrency called Lira ran around on a combination of stifling regulations and user distrust. Despite the collapse of its planned cryptocurrency Diem, formerly known as Lira, Meta has not given up on its plans to muscle into the financial service sector, with internal sources suggesting that the company has plans to roll out a whole suite of virtual coins, tokens, and even business lending systems. And, again, if you was listening to Mark Zuckerberg when he was talking about this change in Meta and the metaverse and everything like that, he was saying that they were trying to create the backbone for this whole scenario. It's just like, let's say the new trend was everybody was going to start driving trains and riding on trains. The trains was going to be the new future of the world. Well, Mark Zuckerberg is planning on building the rail infrastructure for the trains to roll on. All right. So you would use his product for the backbone of everything else. All right. The subsidiary Meta Financial Technologies is said to be exploring creations of a virtual currency for the metaverse, something employees have begun referring to as Zuckbucks. Company sources told Facebook, or I guess, or I don't know, FT. I don't know if that's a typo or not, but it says, but rather than previous efforts to enter the crypto world, Meta employees are reportedly seeking out the least regulated form of digital currency, FT sources revealed, indicating that it was giving the blockchain a wide berth. All right, but nevertheless, these are things. This is going into how these how do I say, big not media conglomerates, but these big social media conglomerates, or these big technology conglomerates are buying up a massive. Well, they're buying. First of all, they're buying up smaller companies and things like that, and they're just merging into one big huge system. All right, this is the system that basically they want to get into. Let me read down a little bit. Where is it at? Why do I have to read both of these paragraphs? Let me just read these two and we'll get into some scriptures. It says, rather than debuting Zuckbucks as a blockchain-based crypto, the company will likely begin an in-app token it can totally control, perhaps building on its existing non-blockchain peer-to-peer payment system, Facebook Pay, the source indicated. It says, Stefan Carcel, the head of the financial division for Meta, wrote in January in a memo that the company was working on accelerating investments and facilitating payments within its encrypted messenger subsidiary WhatsApp and Messenger, helping creators monetize their activity via NFTs and other means, and potentially merging Facebook Pay with Navi, another wallet app, which was initially developed to hold Meta Layer DM coins before the project collapsed. All right, and so as you can see, they'll buy up competition and things like that, or other apps and sites that already have a huge following and things like that, and just merge them in on their, into their system. It says efforts to stitch Meta's blockchain wallet back together hope to see a function as one-stop shop for payments, identity, and digital asset management within the family of apps over time to other app sites, the Memo revealed, hinting that a model similar to the World Economic Forum known traveler digital identity itself is subject to further speculation regarding central bank digital currencies, digital ID systems, health passports, and other dystopian sounding structures. So as you can see, basically these things are being shaped up to bring us into what they call the New World Order. All right, so this is Habakkuk chapter 2. I'm going to read from the top. It says, and I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower and watch what he will say and watch to see what he will say unto me and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables that he may run that readeth it. All right. And this is what we're out here doing, with these, these video epistles and things like that. Hey, we see things, we'll let you know, we report on them, man. All right, we're the watchmen. We're reporting, hey, look, when you see these things, we're warning you about these things. So what? People don't just be out there, because you'll hear like people in the world, they're like, oh shit, Facebook dropping some new cryptocurrency. That shit finna be the bomb. And you be like, you looking at them like, bro, y'all don't even know what the hell that is. That's, that's going into the mark of the beast. You have no idea. Like, what you mean about this? What you mean? But they ain't say that on the article. Like, well, they're not going to tell you that. But this is what we're here to do. We're here to tell you about these things and to make it easy for you to connect the dots. So when you see these things or hear about these things, those red flags immediately go up. Like, oh shit, I've been hearing about these guys talking about the mark of the beast. No man's going to be able to buy or sell. Now the government talking about coming out with a CBDCs, what do they call central bank digital currencies. All right, Facebook coming out with their own cryptocurrency. All right, all these different people talking about coming out with these different cryptocurrencies and the economy collapsing and things, and then also these digital passports and all these and then when you connect the dots, it's like, oh, they all the same thing. If you have one chip, they all can touch and control the same thing, right? So it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And a couple years back, you had a lot of these different camp groups that were debating whether what the MOTB was, whether it was an embargo, Christianity, sleeping with the white woman, all these different things versus, what the men of GMS have been telling you. Hey, this is going into, the RFID chip. All right. But nevertheless, now all of a sudden the vision is speaking loud and clear. It's not lying. All right. It's obvious for you to see what it is nowadays. All right. This is Revelation chapter 13. All right. Getting into this here. Mark of the beast, Revelation 13 and 16, it says, and he calls it all. All right. And that's the point there. You see in all these different systems all coming to the same end. How they say, well, nevertheless, all these different roads end off at the same place, just to give you a quick analogy on that. All right. Whether Facebook, what their end game goal is, your medical systems and your health passports. All right. Your traveler passports, your new Real ID Act. All right. All these different things all end off in the same place. And that same place is what? The MOTB, which is what we're reading here in Revelation 13 and 16. It says, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right. Because, again, dealing with problem, reaction, solution. All right. They're going to come out with a scenario to where, oh, well, we have everything and this is all good. But then now we have a problem where, there's an issue. And with this issue, we can solve it by doing this. So, for instance, how, we got to where we are right now, beforehand, it's like, well, we started out with gold and silver, but then now you got to carry around all this gold and silver and then you can't break exact change. Well, then they created, the fiat currency. Well, it was, actual currency at that point in time. And then it became a fiat currency to where it wasn't backed by silver or gold at that point in time. Then it came to the point where, people just had all this an abundance of dollar bills and things like that. It was like, well, you know what? How about we create like a checking system? All right, now you got a check and then, you can write the checks. You can put the money in the bank and things like that. Well, let's just upgrade that to like a bank cards, a debit card system, credit card system. All right. So you don't have to be carrying around all this here cash. All you got to do is carry around this one little card. And as you can see, the cards nowadays pretty much all have these little chips on there. And, even further now, they got like your cell phone where you can do like Apple Pay and things like that, but then you always have these issues with these problems. It's like, well, okay, well, we got a debit card. What if I lose my wallet? What if somebody steals my wallet? Or what if I go to the gas pump and they got one of these card scanners, and then you wonder why they have all these things. It's just like the computer virus. Like, who the hell is creating these computer viruses? It's possibly the computer people who make the computers and who make the virusware and the spyware type of things like that, just so they can lead credence to buying their product. Well, it's like, well, look, we'll give y'all a credit card and make it so secure that nobody knows about it. But then all of a sudden somebody finds a backdoor way to exploit it and create all these things to put you into that fear. It's like, shit, I don't want to use my debit card at the gas pump no more because they can have a scanner. Well, if you just use Apple Pay, you can just tap your phone and then you don't have to use your card. Your card is saved in there. It's just going off the phone. Well, what happens if somebody steals my phone? What if somebody logs into my phone and hack my phone and everything else like that? Well, look, we can just do it this way. We'll upgrade it to where everybody gets a chip. All right, in their right hand or in their forehead, and then it's going to be unhackable. It's going to be inside of you. You don't got to worry about leaving it nowhere. You ain't got to worry about losing it nowhere. You'll always have it on you. If you pass out and you faint, get in a car accident or something like that, the medical EMS, they can roll up and just scan you, find out who you are. Don't have to go through all your stuff, because who knows what might happen. You might get into a car accident and flung from your car, or maybe kidnapped and tied up in the trees and the woods and stuff like that. Nobody knows who you are. They don't have no ID on you, but how can we readily identify you to see what you're allergic to and what you're not allergic to when we're doing this medical procedure? We need some type of real-time, real way. Hell, we could even find you a lot faster if we could track you. You see what I'm saying? Problem, reaction, solution. So this is why it says, and he calls it all right? So everybody's going to, in order to fit into this new world order system that they're creating, all right, everybody's going to have to participate into this here scenario. All right. But ultimately, let me go and grab something else come back to that. Where is it at? All right, Revelation 3 and 10, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. All right, and the point there was that this great temptation was going to come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So everybody's going to have to go through this scenario, man. All right, this is going to be a so-called, a transformation in how we do things here on earth, man. And some places already have these things set up. Just like in China, they have what they call the Chinese social credit system. I remember doing videos on this years back, man, whereas they pretty much have an app on their phone. All right. And they got all these facial recognition cameras all over the spot where they can track and trace you and see who you are and everything else like that. And if your social credit score goes down too low, then you get barred from certain things in certain societies, man. Like you litter too much, or you sit at home playing video games too long. You can look it up on YouTube. It's called a Chinese social credit system. They'll ban you from applying for rent in certain places, going to school, traveling, and all these different things. So you're pretty much dead out there in the streets, man. All right. And it's going to be a slow death. All right. But nevertheless, it's the same way as if you don't want to participate into these things. Nah, I don't want to go into that system. I don't want to do all these things. All right. Let's go back. Revelation 13. All right. Revelation 13:16, it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that have the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here's wisdom, let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Point I wanted to grab was in verse 17. It says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that have the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Now, we seen how this was had a soft rollout, how they was they do a lot of so-called trial runs and tests. All right. Now, when they had those mandates, there's an article in the news talking about how, they just had a ruling on those mandates for the juicy juice. All right. But you've seen how when they had the little juicy juice situation going on just not too long ago, they was telling people, hey, if you don't get the juicy juice, you can't work here no more. You're going to have to quit, or you're not going to get, however they put it to where it wasn't so harsh. It's like, well, look, we're not going to fire you. We're just not going to allow you to come back on premise, and we're not going to pay you no more. So the choice is up to you. I mean, you can still technically be employed here, but you're not going to get paid. And what does that result to? Well, obviously, I don't really have a job no more. I'm still on I'm still quote unquote an employee, but I don't have they keep me at 0 hours. All right. And I don't get no paycheck. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, they didn't quote unquote fire me, but I ain't really got no job at this point. So how am I going to be able to make a paycheck? How am I going to be able to eat? How am I going to be able to go to the grocery store? And some places and locations, you weren't even able to go inside the stores unless you had the juicy juice. So, this was a precursor to how things are going to go. All right. So again, you can look at the Chinese social credit system. If you don't have these apps and things like that, well, you need it's one specific app. If you don't have this app, you can't pay your light bill, can't order a cab and things like that, can't do a whole lot of different things. It's like the central hub for everything, man. All right, imagine you living in a world where everything was based off of, let's say a quote unquote digital payment based off of either like Apple Pay or a bank account, right? You needed a debit card to be able to buy or sell anything here in America. All right, well, you can't order, just like a lot of things we already have now. It's like, well, trying to order like an Uber, try to order food, try to order things online. It's like, well, you can't really pay Amazon with cash like that. You got to use some type of debit card. Well, I guess if you only got cash to use on Amazon, you're not using no Amazon, right? So here, here's the situations that we're, expediently approaching, man. All right, you see all these different, like I said, companies, Facebook with the Meta, and here's something funny real quick. Let's look at this here word for forehead. All right. But nevertheless, you see all these different companies and things like that. They're all, like I said, all their roads are leading at the same thing, this MOTB. All right. Lord's will this here will pop up. Not sure why we moving slow with this here internet. But, okay, here we go. It's funny. We were just reading a article on what was called Facebook, which is now called Meta. So when you go into this here word, for foreheads, it says the space between the eyes or the forehead. But as you can see, the word here, metapon, but I think you go a little closer or further into the word, all right, it says meta, all right, with, after, behind. So this is right here, basically in your mind, all right. This is what you got going on in your forehead and your meta, all right. And this is what they have going on. So, but it's no coincidence that, all these things are happening like this, because like we read in Habakkuk 2, all right, let me go back to that real fast. Habakkuk 2, all right, it says, verse 2, it says, and Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision, make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. So we're giving you the breakdown, so it should be obvious to you when you see all these different things that it is what it is, right? Verse 3, the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. And that's the point. Hey, it's not lying. It's obvious that this is what it is, man. All right, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. All right, and ultimately, again, this is going to be that great temptation that's going to come upon the whole earth, man. All right, you want to be a part of society or not a part of the society? You know, some people will say on, oh, I don't have to be a part of this society. I don't really like how things going anyway. Hey, but you got to think about the reality of things, man. You got to be able to eat. You know, you got to be able to have housing and everything else like that. And, you know, Esau's not going to make this here thing easy for you people out here, man. All right, a lot of these people are going to wind up folding, man. And, you know, it's funny you hear a lot of these people saying, you know, speak as if they're, disbarred from all these things happening. They speak with all this pride, and you ask them, like, what y'all gonna do? Like, you know, oh, I got this, I got money, I don't need all this, I ain't got to worry about that, I can afford groceries and things like that. Like, yeah, you said that 2 years ago. Now look at you now complaining about going to the grocery store, can't afford anything. All right, see, the correct answer was dependent on the Lord. All right, we'll close off with that. Revelation 3:10 again, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. All right, so the only way to be preserved from this is through the Lord, man. All right, that's the ultimate answer. How are you going to survive through this? Hey, depending on the Lord, trusting in the Lord, man. Because other than that, like the scripture said, he calls us all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive this, that no man may be able to buy or sell. So how are you going to eat? How are you going to be able to move around? All right, but we know in the scriptures say, blessed he that readeth. We know that the scriptures say, hey, my servants shall eat, but they shall be hungry. All right, so hey, we're going to put our trust in the Lord, and the Lord is going to deliver us up out of these times, man. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, this here lesson was edifying unto the elect. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakak Quadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone that taught us this truth and I rule well. And salutation, much love for you. I can push this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and endure afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say, stay strong. Shalom.